So cognitive behavioral therapy, we're not really looking to find the answer to the question why things are the way they are. And we're not only trying to desensitize you to something and change behaviors, but what we're trying to do is look at the thoughts behind your feelings and your behaviors. And the ABC self-help exercise is how we can kind of map out what those thoughts are, right? So perfect example be if it snowed 15 feet last night. And that could be a perfect A, right? So your A is your activating event, also known as an adversity. Activating event, it's sort of like the first domino in the series of dominoes. And when you're trying to figure out what the activating event is, you only want it to be the facts. So you don't want it to be like, it snowed 15 feet last night and it's just my luck and I have a meeting to go to this morning and I had to miss it and this always happens to me. And yeah, I mean, your brain sort of gets carried away with itself. And what we want to try to figure out for the A is just the facts of the situation, and none of that is a fact, other than it snowed last night. So for the A, if you were doing this on a piece of paper, which starting out, you should do it on a piece of paper. For the A, what you would want to write down is that it snowed, 18 inches last night. Period. That's it. It's not about you. It's not about fairness or luck or anything like that. All that is what's going on in your head, and we'll get to that in a second. So for the A, on your piece of paper next to adversity or activating event, you're going to write down, it snowed 18 inches last night. You could even add to that as long as it's fact. So if you did miss a meeting because of the weather, then you could say, it snowed 18 inches last night and I missed a meeting because of weather, right? So the next thing on your piece of paper, you're going to write the letter B, and by B, you're going to write beliefs. So this isn't like your belief in God or the universe or anything like that, but this is your beliefs, also known as thoughts. So everything that's going on inside your head. What are you telling yourself inside your head? So we'll get to B in a second, because sometimes it's a little tricky to train yourself to figure out what your beliefs are. So we're going to skip to C, and next to C, you're going to write consequences. Right? So next to consequences, there are two types. So there are emotional consequences, so that's how you feel. And there are behavioral consequences, which is how you behave. So, sometimes when it snows 15 feet, then, people are angry or upset. Like, God damn it, I have to dig all this snow and ice, and it's not fair. And they have a hissy fit, right? Sometimes people will be anxious. Oh my God, it snowed. What's going to happen? I'm not going to be able to go to the grocery store, and I'm having a panic attack. So, there could be different emotional consequences to whatever the given situation is. So for behavioral consequences, that would be kind of like having a hissy fit. Your feeling would be angry, and your behavior would be you act out. You throw a fit, a temper tantrum, right? If you were anxious, then the emotional consequence would be anxiety, and the behavioral consequence would be panic attack. So I kind of use the example of Google Maps, that you start out at point A, and really point E is where you want to end up. And let's say point E is the therapy office. We haven't gotten to E yet, but that's where we want to end up. And point C is kind of where we got lost along the way. You didn't just end up at point C by magic. So if you started at your apartment and you ended up in New Jersey, there's nothing wrong with New Jersey, by the way, but it's just not where you wanted to end up. But you didn't get to New Jersey by magic. You didn't sort of I Dream a Genie yourself there. So you followed some directions, albeit a little misguided directions, but you follow directions just the same. So the B, your beliefs, those are kind of the directions that you're following in your head. These are the thoughts in your head that lead from something random in the universe happening, like it's snowing 18 inches, to having a temper tantrum and being angry, or having a panic attack and being anxious. Snowing 18 inches doesn't cause anger, period. Snow doesn't have any meaning in and of itself. It's just, it snowed, right? So, as I'm here to dig out that snow, what do you think the beliefs are in my head? So I'm kind of giving you some hints so far, but it's probably something like, it's not fair, or it's too hard, I can't stand it, Ben, it's too much snow, if I miss this meeting, it's the end of the world, why is it, this always happens to me, I'm gonna dig all this snow out, it's just gonna snow more tomorrow, and yeah, that's all beliefs, none of that is fact, that's all just going on in your head. And those are like following directions to New Jersey. So you get on this road and you turn left here and you go to this stoplight and whatever, and that's how you end up where you end up. So you don't just wake up in the morning, look at snow, and then have a temper tantrum. Believe it or not. You're telling yourself something in your head that about the snow, about it snowing 18 inches, and that's what makes you feel stuff. And that's what makes you behave in a certain way. So if you're telling yourself, it's not fair and I can't stand it, I missed this meeting, it's the end of the world and whatever, well, those aren't directions that are going to lead you to be mildly annoyed. Those are directions that are going to lead you to be enraged or panicked or worried or nervous. And yeah, I mean, see, this is where we ask, I call it the Dr. Phil question. The Dr. Phil question is, how's that working for you? Dr. Phil has nothing to do with rational emotive behavior therapy, by the way, but I like the question. So, how's it working for you? So you're telling yourself, it's not fair, I can't stand it. And then at C, you end up angry and enraged, or panicked, or worried, or nervous. And if that's where you want to end up, then you don't need therapy. But probably you don't want to walk around angry and anxious and panicked and worried and depressed and all those things. So the D and the E, this is where the therapist comes in. So stay tuned, and I'm going to dig some more snow, and maybe you'll be interested to see the conclusion next time. Bye-bye.